Welcome to Calon, the place where you find the ideal you. Learn about philosophy, psychology, leadership, and personal development in one place. If you have not subscribed yet, you will miss out. So, let's begin. In different moments of our lives, we realize how small we are in relation to the universe and the dance of contingency. It doesn't take a global health crisis to throw this in our face, despite the fact that it did. In view of this, we can ask ourselves, where can we lift our anchor and have a firm point to face the waves of challenges that life insists on sending our way? To understand more clearly where we can find the strength and resilience to stand firm in the face of chaos, how about a fable? Fables and stories are extremely useful for understanding complex abstract concepts. Take the story of the Three Little Pigs. Basically, it tells the story of three little pigs who, seeking to protect themselves from the wolf, build their houses. The first makes a straw house. The second builds a wooden house. Both the straw and wooden house do not resist the wolf's blow. Finally, the third little pig builds a brick house, which, with its strength and firmness, resists the wolf's puff, leaving the three little pigs safe. After all, what can we interpret from this fable, and what is the connection with resilience and with what we are discussing in this reflection? The first point that we can identify is the existence of the wolf, something dangerous, something that threatens our existence. In our life, in different shapes and sizes, the wolf comes. Eventually, he will knock on our door and challenge the structure of it with its blow. Will it resist? Second, we can mention that some structures resist the wolf's puff better than others. In other words, the force of contingency. So a question arises on our mental horizon. How can we build a structure strong and solid enough, one that doesn't give in to the wolf? To have a better answer to this question, let's see what not to do. Where and how not to build our house. The straw and wooden houses. As a house, we have four pillars in the structure of our psyche. These are identity, direction, discernment, and motivation, IDDM. Today, we will briefly mention them, however, in future videos, we will explore them in greater depth. Identity. It is the aspect that nourishes or not your sense of self-worth, your self-esteem, and your individuality. It also encompasses the way you see others. Direction represents your internal frame of reference. It is the lens you use to see the world and make decisions. It encompasses your everyday navigation compass. Discernment. It is your perspective on the whole, how the different elements of the world interact and what they mean. It represents your way of judging and understanding situations. Motivation represents what makes you take action, take the next step forward. It involves your sense of power and energy. Now, to understand whether these pillars will wield or resist to the wolf, we must understand where not to build them. As a rule, if they depend on external situations, the structure of the house, of the psyche will be fragile, because it is as if it were built on quicksand. If the wolf does not appear, they will give the appearance of solidity and resistance. However, by the time the first blow comes, the structure will already show signs of its fragility. For example, let's say a person creates the four pillars around money. Being something external, its building territory is dangerous. What would happen? The first pillar, her identity, the way she sees herself and others, would be based on whether or not she has an amount of money. Its second pillar, the direction, would be built on acts to make more money. The third pillar, her discernment, would be to think and reflect through the lens of only financial gains. Finally, its fourth pillar, motivation, would be to accumulate more money. That is, all goals and objectives would permeate profit and monetary gain. But what would happen to that person if she lost some or all of her money? Should an economic crisis occur? In case her company went bankrupt? The wolf would come and destroy the fragile structure of this abode, this psyche. Such a person would find herself aimless, unhappy, and helpless. Other possible external territories in which people usually build their pillars are career, love relationships, friendships, social respect, an ideology, incessant pursuit of pleasure, or even meeting the needs of the ego, which is validated in external acceptance. They all depend beyond the individual. They are all dangerous territories to place the four pillars. The brick house. Now that we understand what the pillars that support our psyche are, our home, and we have identified where not to place these pillars because when the wolf comes we will not have a strong enough structure, the next step of our reflection is to clarify where, in fact, we can place the pillars to build the brick house. The meaning of our lives, the center from which we can find resilience, the anchor we can throw into the sea in the moment of greatest difficulties, the brick house, comes from within. Hence the Socratic maxim, know thyself. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, describes it masterfully when he says, "It is you who have the power over your mind, not external events. Realize this and you will find strength." Epictetus, a former slave and later a fundamental exponent of Stoicism, adds to the reflection by saying, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." Thus, we must water the flowers of our inner world. One way to do this is by creating a personal mission statement. The personal mission statement helps us clarify our values, better understand the contribution we can make, and what a profound success in life beyond the material looks like to us. All aspects depend only on ourselves. Some questions to ask yourself to start outlining it. What are the most important things to me? If I left the earth tomorrow, what would I like to be remembered for? What influence would I like to have on people's lives? What important thing could I do with my time? How could I contribute to the lives of others? What kind of person do I want to be? It is extremely important to honestly think about these questions, as well as write them down in an easily accessible place, whether digital or physical. Once you have a basic idea and a direction for the answers, try to summarize your answers in short, clear, and honest sentences. 5 to 15 sentences summarizing your thoughts is a good number, because on the one hand, it makes you reflect in a broad way, and on the other hand, it makes you be economical and clear in the polishing of your personal mission statement, meaning the house of bricks, because its strength does not depend on the external, but it is found in the inner world. Keep only the phrases that matter most. Think, explore, write, synthesize, and edit, opting for quality over quantity. We saw how the story of the three little pigs can be interpreted to debate and think about resilience in the face of the challenges and problems that life brings us. In addition, we discovered the 4 pillars of support for our house and where not to place them. However, Just because we shouldn't build our pillars on external issues, it doesn't mean that they are irrelevant. It is important to think about our personal, professional, social, and financial lives. However, one thing is to give healthy importance to the external, another to build our identity, direction, discernment, and motivation, the pillars of our psyche, around them. We must cultivate our inner garden. As Voltaire said, cultivating our inner garden is the best investment of time and energy we can make. For, unlike all other aspects, it depends on us alone. In this way, we saw how a personal mission statement can help us in this regard, and how to create it. Finally, after having thought about it, we must understand that this is a constant process of thinking, personal analysis, identification of goals and values. As we learn from life, our statement will change and improve, but it will be there to provide us with the necessary strength and wisdom, whether the wolf is blowing or not. Thank you for sticking to the end. For more inspiration, reflection, and techniques, make sure to subscribe to our channel. If you have enjoyed this video and you want us to keep producing more, make sure to give us a thumbs up, share with people who you want to see inspired, and leave a comment below. See you on our next video.